Hello, friends. This is going to be a relatively short and unplugged, unedited, raw video today because I just want to talk about this. I want to talk about navigating life as a game master. Navigating life as a game master involves a lot of challenges, and there are three concepts that I want every game master to understand as they navigate life doing this hobby. Number one is you do not have to spend money to engage in this hobby. You can spend thousands of dollars. I literally know game masters who've spent hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on books, online subscriptions, dice, miniatures, all kinds of things. Now, I personally have spent a medium-sized amount of money on the craft. I love to spend money on this hobby. I always buy the new D&D books when they upgrade. I buy a lot of dice. I buy a lot of different things. But you don't have to. And I just want to dispel the myth that you have to be spending large amounts of money to enjoy this hobby. When I first started playing TTRPGs, I literally got together with my friends. We bought one set of dice that we shared. We had a notebook and we had pencils. We would literally just draw our character sheets on paper. They were really just custom made because we were playing homebrew anyway. We had no rule books. We kind of started by printing out the free version of Classic Marvel online and playing with those, but we pretty quickly just abandoned those and just went completely homebrew. And we played for years with this system, and it was so much fun. And we literally didn't spend money on anything but snacks and drinks. And these are some of the greatest times of my TTRPG life. So that's the first rumor I want to dispel, is that you don't have to spend money to be very successful playing TTRPGs. You can totally do it without spending hardly anything. Number two, the second point I want to make is that GMs should have fun playing too. I was just reading in the Discord. If you want to join GM Philosophy Discord, links in the description. But I was just reading a message about this young GM who's trying to run a game and his players aren't taking it very seriously and it's bothering him. And here's the thing. I hate to see things like this. And a lot of times the common verbiage or the common expectation around this is, well, if they're not engaged, that's the GM's fault. But listen, here's the thing. Players have equal responsibility in being engaged in the game. And as game masters, yeah, we do want to take responsibility for trying to run an engaging game. But if players aren't paying attention, it's also partly their fault. And we need to realize that if our players, despite our best efforts, are not paying attention to the game, that this isn't okay, especially if it's hurting the experience for you. If you want to run a game that's a certain way, that's fun, and you realize that other players not paying attention is ruining the fun for you, this is something to take note of. As a GM, you deserve to enjoy the games you run. You deserve to have fun. You should be having fun. You are one of the people involved. I think a lot of GMs try to fall on the sword, so to speak, sacrificing themselves to try to make their players happy. I don't like to see this, and I don't think this is a sustainable way to navigate life as a game master. I want to see game masters setting good boundaries and then enforcing them with kindness and respect. I want to see them making sure that they're having fun too. I want to see them making sure that they're playing with players who make them look forward to the game instead of like problematic players who kind of make it maybe a headache. These are the things that I want to see. And so I would encourage you to pursue those things as you navigate life, being a game master, running awesome games, and giving so much of your creativity to the other players to tell this collaborative storytelling narrative. My third point is perhaps a little unexpected, but it is something to be noted. There are some game masters whose whole family and friend group are involved in the hobby. And then there are some game masters whose family and friends are not involved in the hobby. And there was actually a really good quote that someone dropped in the Discord. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically it's like, not all real friends are D&D friends. And there's some truth to that. In your life, you might find it particularly, let's say, frictionless to enjoy TTRPGs if you have a lot of friends and loved ones around you who are also in the hobby. Then it becomes more like a ritual for your group, for your core group. When I say core group, I mean the core people in your life. But there are people out there whose friends and family are not into the game, and they're sort of doing this thing that no one else in their family or friend group really understands or even cares about. And this is especially true if you have like a partner or a spouse who is not into D&D. So this is very interesting for me. I came from, when I was in my 20s growing up, all of my immediate friends and family were into TTRPGs. All of them. So it was very much a culture, a community culture for me back then. But nowadays, I have a different situation. Some of my friends and family like D&D, but it's definitely less than half. The vast majority of people I spend time with nowadays are not really into the hobby at all. And so this makes it a little bit challenging. Sometimes that is a balance that you have to balance. But here's what I want to tell you about this. I want to give you permission to balance it. And there can be this tendency to steer away from TTRPGs if your immediate, like, friends, family, core group are not into it, because you might feel like it's taking you away from them. I want you to do what is best for you. I don't want you to feel guilty or bad about stepping away from TTRPGs a bit if, the rest of the people in your core group that you care about are into other things. But I also don't want you to give up on TTRPGs because the people around you are not also into them. You can join a great community like our Discord or many other online communities. You can go to your local game store. You can make friends. You can get yourself into a community where there are people enjoying the hobby with you and around you. And to be really honest, this community sort of communal aspect of it is really important. I think that this is integral to having the best experience with it. One of the actually loneliest things, I think, is being someone who's really into D&D or into TTRPGs, and you literally don't know anyone else who is, and you don't have anyone to game with, and you just enjoy this group hobby in isolation. This is a very lonely thing. If you've ever felt like this, my heart really goes out to you, because I have also experienced this in my life. It's not fun, and I would encourage you to try to move away from that. Sometimes in seasons of life, we have to sacrifice the hobby to do other things. Maybe you're working very long hours, or you're working overseas, or maybe you're so busy with other things in life that it just doesn't make sense to focus on it right now. But I would encourage you, at the earliest possible convenience, at least try to find a community and plug in, because you shouldn't live that lonely life where you are urged, like you have this urge to run games, but then you just don't know anyone and there's no one around to talk to about it. And so you look at your books and you have your dice and you do your minis and everything, but you do it in isolation. I would not want to see this for anybody. Even if you're not running games, you could still jump in like a Discord group or a Facebook group, or you could still go to local events and you could still at least talk about things, hang out, share ideas, write things, show them to other people, and that kind of thing. So anyway, those are my 3 tips for today, navigating the life of a game master. And you might find that those are a bit surprising, but this is just my real raw tips. This weekend I'm doing some real raw videos, kind of stepping a little bit back from the heavy marketing aspect that usually dominates this channel as I try to grow the business. And I'm trying to lean a bit into more of like the art and just being raw for a few videos. Let me know what you think about this. Drop a comment. Let me know if you like these types of videos. Anyway, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as always, roll some D100s for me at your next game. That's going to be a wrap for this one. I will see you awesome people on the next one.